This is Drop Tent Media Network.
Hey, hold right there. Don't dare skip this. This is an important message. Me and my boy Albert Davis, we want to tell you about our podcast, Seriously Dad. Albert, why should they listen?
Because it's the best podcast in the world. It's by two comedians who are dads. And you know what we're talking about? Being dads. It's called Seriously Dad. Check us out on social media at Seriously Dad Podcast. And
anywhere you get your podcast, that's where we're at. We're funny. We got some great guests coming our way. We cover the topics you want to hear. Check us out.
Pretty face like that, I can't be mad at you. An independent woman with an attitude. I could give you what you want, but you don't really need it, cause you never want for nothing. So it wouldn't be wrong to ask you to my place. If you tell me that you can't, then baby, it's okay.
And welcome to Crimes to Remember. And my name is comedian Sherry, and I'm here with co-host Neil, my phenomenal producer. Neil, say hi.
Hey, everybody.
Alrighty. So I know we've been on a hiatus and we've taken a break and whatnot, so we definitely apologize. But don't think we didn't forget you, and don't think we weren't going to come back with some more crimes to remember. Today, we're going to be looking at the Cleveland Strangler. Now, the Cleveland Strangler, he was definitely a piece of work. He was known, well, of course, as a Cleveland Strangler because his crimes were committed out in Cleveland, Ohio. And at the time, he was out in the Mount Pleasant area in Cleveland. So now, unfortunately, with Anthony Sowell, he had a horrible childhood. He was born August 19th, 1959, and he had 7 siblings. And he would just fight for the love of his mom, but she just wasn't really that receptive as far as like showing love and really caring about the kids. It was an abusive household, of course. So they were abused regularly. And unfortunately, she would have them stripped down naked and would beat them in front of relatives. And it's just he had a hard time. And then, unfortunately, his one sister, when she was young, she died at a young age from a disease that she was infected with. So that had a bearing, him losing his sibling, but the mom being, just abusive and the household being dysfunctional. Another thing that made it worse was also that Anthony Sowell used to rape his niece when she was 10 years old. And the girls in the family were actually raped on a regular basis by their relatives. So Anthony grew up thinking that this is a normal household. He just thought that abuse and rape and torture, he thought that was common. Like that was what went on between two people when you were intimate. So unfortunately, from a young age, he had a warped sense of, how to interact with women or how to handle situations. So as much as he tried to fight for attention and get love and deal with the abuse, it just didn't work out for him. He thought maybe I think things would change or at some point things would get better. But I think he just became numb to the fact of everything that was going on around him. And, he believed that it was typical to treat women this way. There was no big deal. So then he ended up deciding to join the Marines. So now when he was in the Marines, he actually did good. He had a lot of accommodations. He did excellent as far as being in the Marines. People didn't see any, issues. He conducted himself accordingly. And then in 1985, he was discharged from the Marines. So, of course, then he comes back to Cleveland and whatnot. So he gets a job and he's living with his parents. And he's working a job and everything seems to be going all right. But he starts drinking and then socializing, and meeting women. So now the one thing is he ends up deciding to quit his job, though, because he was there, I think, when he got back home for maybe like 2 years in the job. And then not only did he quit the job, but he had raped a female. And he raped and beat her and tortured her. And she was luckily able to escape. Now, she went to the police and reported the crime. And then he was given a plea deal for 15 years. So he served his time in jail. So, of course, when he comes out of jail, when he comes out of prison, after 15 years, he's released in 2005. So when he comes out in 2005, him being in prison didn't change anything. Like, it didn't make anything subside. He didn't take a look at himself and be like, maybe I want to be different. No. If anything, he came out with a vengeance. And he just figured he was going to persist on doing the same things he did. So when he came back out of jail, of course, he was back living in a parents' home and whatnot. And he was staying there. So even though he was committing crimes, now, his older stepmother, she was there. And the thing that was amazing to people, and this is another thing, which people believe in, I definitely agree with this, because of the economic status of the victims and the poverty that they were in, people weren't concerned. It's almost like the problem is when you're targeting a group of women that society looks at as like castaways, whether they're addicted to drugs or they're prostitutes, and it's almost like they look at it like, well, they put themselves in that predicament, so why should we be concerned? Right. Which is sad, because at the end of the day, they're still a human being. Yeah. Whether they got addicted to drugs or not, they were someone's child, someone's mother, sister. So
I can't remember where I heard the term. Sorry to interrupt, but yeah, someone had used the term once. It was like less dead,
right?
Like it's these people fall through the cracks, or society's not concerned about them, so they're almost dead to begin with. It's like, right. It's that brutal type of thing. It's awful.
Right, because it's almost like a no-win situation. Because of the choices you made, people are going to look at it like, well, you brought that on yourself. You shouldn't even put yourself in a predicament to do it. But, yeah. I mean, yeah.
That's how it works, right? It's not that, yeah.
Right, that's the sad part. And like, if it was someone, a young girl from a middle-class family or a well-to-do family, it definitely would have got precedence. And it wouldn't have lasted this long. And I think that's where the problem lies with society, is the fact that when you're dealing with a class of women that society looks at, well, they're doing risky behavior, and why should we be concerned when they're allowing themselves to be in that predicament? But no woman has to get raped. I don't really care how you're dressed, what you were wearing. It's still a violation. You know what I'm saying? And, and it's something that will scar the survivors of his for years to come, because it's not just something you get over. It's, they feel like they have a loss of power. You know what I mean? And that's really what rape comes down to. It comes down to the fact of power and control. That's really the only reason why, because I say all the time, I don't understand why someone would do it. Right. But it's about power and control. Right. So, I mean, you'd have to be able to be in their mindset to understand why it intrigues them or why they find it thrilling. Yeah. So, which I still,
So, I wonder if we're going to find out if he was like a missionary serial killer or a product kind of serial killer, because typically with like the Green River Killer, which is 50 something, the women, right. He specifically was just like, well, no one cared that I did it, and I thought I was doing you guys a favor just by getting rid of these, what he considered dregs of society or something like that, or less than himself. So he's out of jail, and he didn't get any psych evals, I'm guessing, in jail to figure out probably would have, yes, he could have looked inward and reformed himself, obviously, but I wonder, our jails don't do a good job of psych evals and things like that.
Because his first initial incident actually was in 1989, when he had assaulted, choked, and raped a woman, and she was actually 3 months pregnant. Oof. When he did that. So he had no remorse, and she managed to escape and went to the police, and it just took a long time to investigate, and then and then she didn't want to testify. So see, and then this is where the problem comes to, because of the simple fact of it was victims that had gotten away from him that did not want to testify. Right. So then that's why they didn't want to go to court, and then he was able to just be back on the streets. Now, when he did go to prison for that time period, for the 15 years, and then get out, of course, in 2005, I think then he realized, there's no point in me raping and assaulting a woman without killing her, because if I let her go, then I'm going to take a chance of getting arrested. Right. So I think that's the sad part, because some of these criminals look at it like, well, they learn to perfect their crime. That's really what it comes down to. They look at it like, well, I did this. This didn't really work out for me. So, you know what? If I kill her, I'll probably be doing a lot better. So his MO was, say if he was out having drinks and whatnot, he would meet a female. So whether she was a prostitute or not, she was either addicted to drugs, prostitute. Families weren't quick to look for them and whatnot, because the women that were addicted would disappear for periods of time. So the families, they didn't want to draw attention. And if they did catch them on drugs, then they felt like their daughter or whoever would be arrested. So they would try to give it time and whatnot. But one mom, she waited. And then she got to the point where she realized like something just wasn't right. And so even though he had females escape before, like around 2007, people in his neighborhood started to complain about an odor that was coming from his house. And they would be like, what is this odor? So they investigated it, and he would say sewage, the sewer system, which is interesting. No different than Gacy. So as far as trying to downplay something. Then there was an abandoned food place called Ray's Sausage out in Cleveland. And he was saying the fumes and the smells were coming from there. Then he actually was dating like a councilman's daughter at one point, which was crazy. And he explained away the smell with her, and he put it on his ailing stepmother and said because of her health issues and things going on with her, that's the smell. The smell's coming from her because of certain things. So you're just like, you got to be kidding me. So she, downplayed it and believed him and figured it wasn't a situation. And then, of course, she ended up leaving him alone. So it was, to me, it was amazing that he was even able to have a relationship with a female like that. But this is one thing I've learned with these serial killers, which is very interesting. Now, one of my friends would be like, this is why I don't like you. And this is why I don't care. I said to them, you sure are good at compartmentalizing. And they were like, why would you say that? They were like, that's something you say. Right. I do say that about serial killers because the best ones definitely can compartmentalize. Okay. Gacy is the best that did it. You had a family. You were a good dad. But you sure to get your numbers up. Yeah. You see what I'm saying? Like, it makes a difference. It's serial killers, just like the Green River Killer. He was excellent compartmentalizing because he had a wife, he had a family. He was functioning for a long time and doing everything he had to do and was playing it off. Yeah. So that's one of the biggest traits that they have, that they're able to have one life, turn around and have another life, and it's not a big deal to them. So now, Anthony Sowell's first victim actually was 1988. And like I stated before, he wasn't murdering the women initially. Not only that, it was victims that just didn't want to testify. So that's how come he was able to get away with some of his victims. Because now people will look at it and see the victims that he murdered, but that's still not the total number whatsoever. Not to mention, like I stated, when his niece was 10, he was raping her on a regular basis. So now, when he did go to jail for the one victim and he did the 15 years and came out of 2005, then, of course, that's when he picked the spree up. But this time he wanted to do things different. He didn't want any survivors. So he really wanted to cover his tracks. So now the foul odor and the people saying things, and police came out and he was explaining things away and they really couldn't understand it. So now there was this one woman that they had got, and I don't know how she managed to do it, but he had her tied up, and then she had gotten free, but he had choked her, and he would choke her, up until the point where you might pass out, but she's not going to die, to keep reliving it, and raped her and assaulted her and beat her. Now, she was so desperate to get out, she jumped out the window, like a second floor story window, and was able, and of course the neighbors see her jumping out the window like, what in the nonsense? So she was able to get away. And the kicker was, the smell was one thing, but what she saw in that house was another, because the other victims had made it out the house, and the victims back in the day earlier, there were no bodies in there at the time whatsoever. So when she was in there, unfortunately, she had saw a body and it was propped up and the head was gone. And then there was another body she had spotted that was like maybe 4 feet away. So when she made it out the window, of course, she went to the police. Now this is 2009 when, right. That's what I'm saying. So this is what people have to understand with him. So 1988, first crime, no murders under your belt, but he's like, let me get warmed up and I'm gonna see how I perfect it. Then, okay, he goes to jail for 15 years, but still doesn't get, if anything, it gets worse. And the crazy part is when he was released from jail, they had the audacity to give him a recommendation of, well, we don't feel he's likely to reoffend.
Right.
Really? Okay.
Yeah.
So he went in as a rapist, but he came out as a rapist and a murderer. Okay. But you thought he wouldn't reoffend? That's interesting.
Yeah. Which, I mean, again, because of there's no psych eval for him to, right? Like, do you think that if he maybe would have had a psych evaluation that maybe someone would be like, oh, your moral compass is skewed? Like, do you think maybe something would have been in there at all?
Yes. Well, yes and no. Maybe. And the reason why I say that is, now, don't get me wrong, with Anthony Sowell, now, not to be smart, I really wouldn't give him that much credit, but you can't judge a book by its cover. The reason why I say that you can definitely not go by a psych eval, right, is because the best narcissistic person, and this is, what criminals are, and this is why the majority are going to get caught, because they are narcissistic. They want to brag about what they've done. They want to explain to you that I'm actually smarter than you are. Gacy was very good for that. Gacy was narcissistic because he put things in your face. He would blatantly bring you around and have bodies in a crawl space and didn't care because he felt, I'm always going to be one step ahead of you.
Right.
And I'm the best that's done it. I have a family. Just like when he would sleep with men, he would be like, I'm not gay.
Sure.
He made that very clear. He was like, I've had 2 wives and I have kids. He said, so you can't even remotely ever want to call me gay. Stop. You are so narcissistic on your image that you're portraying, but yet you're sadistic in the crimes that you're committing.
Right. He would say he's bi,
right,
which is so progressive of the time.
Right.
And he would say he's bi, but he had like hatred towards his wife. His wife said it was a very cold relationship. Like he was clearly suppressing, maybe just being only into men. But I guess I should have asked the question: Does Anthony at this point? Do you think that he is consciously obscuring himself? Like, I guess we don't have an idea of how kind of slippery he is at this point.
Right.
Like, does he know?
He apologized. So he did say he was wrong. He felt bad, but he didn't. As far as I was concerned, he didn't. But this is also the other thing you have to question: if he grew up like this and this was normal. And now you're saying to him, this is not normal. He's like, but I grew up with this in my household. So I hear what you're saying, but this is how things went.
Which would make sense. That he then went like, well, then I can't let them live.
Right. Because you have to think to yourself, as a child,
right, if
your parents are telling you something,
right,
why wouldn't you trust
this? Is normal behavior.
Right. If your parents are showing you something, you would be like, well, this is what goes on. So, and as much as people say that's not the case, yes, it is.
The society's like, no, but he's like, well, if they just don't get caught, if you don't find them, then I'm doing what I'm doing because I've been taught that way.
Listen, prime example, when you tell a child, right, it's the worst. When you tell a child, there are kids out here that don't have the things you have and that don't live like you. And a child says, that's not true. Yes, it is. See, the thing is, and I've watched relatives, you can tell them all you want, but they haven't seen it. Do you see what I'm saying? So you assume everyone lives a certain way. Me and my brother assumed everyone lives a certain way. So, and in our family, you see, everyone has to get an education. They're getting married. You have kids out of wedlock. So that's what's normal. So then that's what you see. But if you're in another household and you see, like I had friends where I never met their parents, like they were just never home. And then she got pregnant and she just fended for herself. And so that was amazing to me because I wouldn't come home without a parent or adult in the house. Like I couldn't be. They were like home alone. We don't play that. Like it was just certain things that just were not acceptable. But you look and you see other households and that's typical. So you're like, is it a bad thing? No, it's just how that family functions and that's fine. But when you are making abnormal or sadistic behaviors a normalcy in a household to a point where you can distance a child to think that intimacy with a female is raping her or choking her, and it's not a big deal. Not only that, to inflict that upon a 10-year-old,
right?
Like, come on. So I felt like he looked at it like these women of society, not only were they not relevant, but they were adults. It's not like he was doing this to a 10-year-old anymore. He was like, they're adults. He was like, I invited you back to my house. You came to my house. You asked for it.
Yeah.
This is what you signed up for. So that was his thing. He would always invite a female after we were drinking back to his house. They do drugs or whatever like that.
So
and then he snapped.
Sorry. This is 2009 because I did interrupt you just because I was thinking about who he is at this point. But like we said, yeah, it seems like whether he was evading people in prison or or was pushing things off like, I messed up, I raped, I'm sorry, I didn't know, blah, blah, blah. And then gets out and goes like, no,
he hadn't murdered anybody at the time.
He had just,
right. So I think that helped this case as far as, like, oh, I regret, because this is my thing. When someone is hell bent on doing something, they're going to do it.
Sure.
Period.
Right.
Okay, so let's be realistic. So if you need to get out, and if I said to you, you need to admit to the parole board what you did, express regret and sympathy, and explain to them how you evolved as a person and that you want to be a productive member of society and that you're going to give back. And you convey that in a manner where 3 people on that board are convinced that have to judge you, then you won. Does it mean that you're going to do it? No, it doesn't mean that.
Sure.
Right. It doesn't. Right. Sure. See, that's the thing. People don't understand that people that are persuasive and manipulative are very good at what they do.
Well, yeah,
it's a crap, right?
Do you feel like that? Do you feel like at this point that's what he is? I don't know. Do you think, because you've heard,
definitely.
He is manipulative.
Of course. Listen, how could you not say he's manipulative? If I can, this is my thing.
I'm saying,
if I can make a woman feel comfortable enough to come back to the house with me,
sure.
We've had a conversation all night. I've said everything that you wanted to hear,
right?
And then when you come in, I get you some drinks, we're doing drugs, I make you feel relaxed, and I'm still in tune to you, and everything's fine. Then all of a sudden, because I know now, I can tell that you're sitting down, you're feeling a little bit more woozy, the drugs have hit in, boom. Now I'm going to turn like a switch, and I'm going to treat you the way that I wanted to treat you in the first place.
Right.
But I just had to give you that comfortableness. I had to make you feel a certain way in order to get you there. This is the thing. People think, oh, I don't see how it's easy. It's easy. And the reason why I say it's easy is we did it as a joke one night, not a assaulting one. What I'm saying is we made a joke one night with friends. I said, listen, see if who could pull more numbers. Everyone's done this. Who could pull more numbers? You just want to be funny. And listen, and people, and you can do it. One might do better than the other because their gift of gab is good, because they know what to say to a person, because they might make a joke, and depending on the facial expression or how a person reacts, or by you observing a person's behavior for a certain period of time, then it's usually not hard to dictate whether or not you can make certain jokes.
Yeah.
Like, have you, as a man, I know you have. I'm pretty sure that you've met different women and you've always come off to women in a different way because every woman's not going to accept the same thing.
Sure. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And even though that's just second nature, it's not a big deal.
Yeah.
But with these criminals, oh no, they perfected.
Right.
Because you got to remember, he was in prison and he was able to stew over things. And like, I shouldn't have got caught. So now he's like, when I get out, I'll definitely do things differently. But I'm going to make them feel that I want to be a member of society. Because remember, he came out of jail and had a job for 2 years.
Right.
And was doing fine.
Sure.
And then decided he wanted to go down the tubes.
Yeah.
Because he couldn't hold back anymore. He was trying to function. And that's one of the things when they try to say, well, I'm going to do well. But that urge or that feeling that gives them that excitement, it's hard to get away from.
Right. So, yeah, he's got the capacity for manipulation. Right. So he could definitely talk to a parole board or say who's sorry to anybody. Cool. Okay. Yeah.
Because listen, look at the girlfriend. He said, my stepmother, because she's ailing and her medical needs and the smell. And he was able to, even when authorities came out, he was able to downplay things. Even when Gacy's, when he had police come out, they were able to downplay things because they're making you feel comfortable. Like, as if, like, if you were to say to someone, did you kill someone? And they would be like, do you really think I'm capable of something like that?
Right.
See, right there, you should be nervous because not only did you not answer my question, but you had an answer for everything, or you have a question for everything. And it's some people that are very articulate in that way, where you ask them a question, but they always have a question and they don't answer it. to deflect off of what you're trying to target. Right. That's no different than when people say, I never said I did that. You never said you didn't. So when you were asked, you went around the bush and you made a statement on everything else just because you're not. Are you trying to pride yourself on not lying?
Obfuscation. Obfuscation, Your Honor.
Right. You're like, I'm going to word things good.
Right.
So when the woman escaped and then they went, the police got there, and this is in 2009. So when they found the one body there, then 4 feet away, there was another body. And then they stumbled further away, another room, another body. And then the fourth one was in a crawl space. Then when they went in the basement, they found the head. And then they went in the backyard, and then they started to dig up the bodies.
Right.
And his spree had lasted a while. So unfortunately, people didn't know. So you're thinking, okay, it wasn't that long. No, it was a good amount of time because he had bodies buried in the backyard. You got to remember, it was his parents' house. He lived with his parents. So this is pretty good. So the father, of course, they're passing. And then, of course, then the stepmom passes. So then in the end, he's by himself. So now he's able to have the bodies in the house. So I feel that's when he graduated from, now I don't have to bury the bodies, but yet I can keep them in the house. But yet that stench by 2007 now is just out of control. And unfortunately, it was 11 bodies. 11 bodies. And the sad part is it was 11 bodies, but it was on hand that you know of, like 4 or 5 survivors that you know of. So that's the part that makes you upset, because what about the women that escaped and survived but would not go to the police? Like, because, it just, the embarrassment.
How we treat sex workers in this country.
Right. She's a prostitute, and you're like, you don't want to get in trouble, or you were using drugs. So I feel like he targeted his victims because he felt that to society that they weren't worthwhile. They weren't going to be missed. And then I feel like the disdain for the fact that he wanted his mother's love that he couldn't get.
Right.
He just couldn't get it.
Punishing
and with
them,
all those with all those siblings. And I think that's just like with torturing his niece. I think that's really, and I think that's when he found out that excited him. I think that's really what it stemmed from. Yes, the abuse is one thing, but the normalcy of him, or the young girls in the family. The young girls in the family were raped on a regular basis. The kids, so and the uncles and they didn't see a problem with it. So the fact that was normal, and then it brought him excitement at a young age. He didn't understand that that's not excitement. That's sick behavior that shouldn't be accepted. So I feel like he normalized the behavior, and then also the hatred of the love that he wanted from his mother that he couldn't get. He was able to take out on the women by strangling him, choking him, and torturing him, because he would beat them. And then not only that, to decapitate a female and to put the head in one place and the body in another.
Right.
So I just think even the bodies on the property and in the house, that was for convenience. I just don't feel like he wanted to work hard to get. I think he just wanted to accumulate a number of victims and get his numbers up, but not work hard. Like, how some people are like, I'm going to get rid of the bodies. The difference with Gacy is Gacy had more money. Gacy had, and this is what I mean. Gacy's run was long. He had more money. He was able to downplay things more. He had workers being able to dig bigger holes with crawl spaces. 700 pounds of lime he bought. Like this guy, he didn't have anything. He had a makeshift kitchen in the house. It was deplorable. It was cat feces, rat feces. It was the house was so deplorable. The odor was so unbearable. You almost wonder, like, how were you able to cook? And that's the thing that blows your mind. I'm upset that you had a headless body in there and you're cooking food and eating. And he just did all the normal things like it was no big deal. And it wasn't a big deal to him. So then it makes you think to yourself, I'm just curious of what your house looked like or how it was maintained when you were a child, though. If this is normalcy to you, if you don't see this as a big deal, if you can have 11 decomposing bodies within the vicinity between outside and in the house, and 4 bodies are in a bedroom alone and in a crawl space and a head in the basement. I guess you put the head in the basement because you didn't want it to look at you. Come on now. That's sickening. He was definitely a different breed. But it was something, it was definitely something wrong with him. I just don't. Yeah,
they end up convicting him and, what was the sentencing and stuff like that? Like the
he's dead 2009, of course, when he was arrested, when they discovered all the bodies, and he's actually sitting on death row still.
Gotcha.
Now, see, this is the stuff that blows my mind. You went in 2009. I don't even see why you're still on death row when we already know you killed these people, and then you've admitted it too. Like, we're prolonging what? The inevitable? Like, you already know that he did this, and he didn't feel mercy for his victims. So why is it that we are giving you 3 meals a day from 2009 until now? Like, it blows my mind. Because, you know, back in the day, like, I mean, a long time ago, they just stone you. They kill you. Listen, you could do a crime and they kill you like 2 or 3 days later. Like, so it just amazes me how the justice system decides to turn so slow now, when I could see if it's not mistaken identity. It's a minimum. First of all, it's 11 murder victims. It could be another victim he murdered that we didn't find, or, you know, and that's the thing. He was in the Marines. Well, how many crimes did he commit then? Right? Because he was in the Marines and he joined in 85, but he had a crime in 89 though that was covered up, right, and didn't report. See, this is what I'm saying. So he was able to go that long, and as a Marine, he had, you know, accommodations, and they looked at him like he was good. So you have to say to yourself, he had to be phenomenal at manipulating to be in the Marines, get accommodations, and then be honorably discharged. It wasn't a dishonorable discharge at all. So, like, you were able to put on one face and conduct yourself in front of people, get accommodations, you know, be appeasing to people, and then still turn around and be able to choke, rape, and torture women and decapitate them. Like, come on now. If that's not manipulation, I don't know what is. Like, that's 2 different lives. And that is what I mean by when people that are excellent at compartmentalizing things, that's one of the traits of a serial killer. Whether people like to hear that or not, it is. Doesn't mean that I know a person's gonna be like, I compartmentalize. All right, well, I didn't ask you what you did. But unfortunately, just like family annihilators, they're very narcissistic. They're at the top of the list for that. That's why they kill their family. Like, that's a common thing. That's the biggest trait in a family annihilator, is they're narcissistic. But criminals in general and serial killers, they're narcissistic because they want to get up their numbers. They think that, just like Sam Little, he's a beast. Now, I definitely am going to do him. Sam Little's numbers got everybody beat. Sam Little, not only does his numbers everybody beat, he drew pictures of all his victims because he remembers all of them. And he'll tell you, oh, don't you ever call me a rapist. He was like, I was never a rapist. Every woman I dealt with wanted me. I'm just a murderer. So flattering. So yes, they're very narcissistic on how they want to be looked at. They know what they expect and they know how they want to be treated, but they know what they can accomplish and how long they can get away with it. And I think that's the thing that amazes you the most, is the time frame in some of people, that the longevity on how long they're able to get away with these crimes and able to stack up these numbers. I think that's the disappointing part. Whereas you look at it like, well, how many victims did he have? And well, why did it last so long? But look at the victims. The economic status played a part, because even when the first 3 murders, first 3 missing people that came up, they didn't work on that case. They waited a while to even indulge in the case. One mother said when she reported them, they didn't call her back. They didn't get back to her. She called again. They didn't follow up. They were like, we didn't hear from her. Well, she's on drugs. She's an adult. So she probably just is on a binge. You can wait for a while, give it a couple weeks or a month, and she'll come back. Like, what? Really? Like, that's what I'm saying. Like, you have to understand the economic status plays a part. Just like when they say about the longevity of R. Kelly, but R. Kelly had money. And then again, they were also Black young girls. So do you really think they were checking for him? No, not really. Epstein, those white girls, but he was very powerful and had money, and he maneuvered phenomenal. Then when it did come out, now everybody wants to check for him because it was white girls, and it's horrible. But with R. Kelly, his run, they didn't care. And for the longest, depending how you maneuver and how much money you have in your economic status, a lot of people will always say, oh, well, it's black or white. After OJ case, it taught us it's not black or white. It's your economic status. It's money. If you had the right money, every glove isn't going to fit and you can acquit. So you can get away with it. I mean, that's a sad thing to say, but it's the truth.
On you, pretty as a rose.
Ferg in your soul, what? Because I haven't seen you in a while. So, and I would hope that you've gotten more creative than the irk your souls that you used to do, because that used to irk my soul, because it wasn't really I don't know. As if like nothing bothered you.
So you haven't seen me in a while, and you also are disappointed in me.
No,
That's fine.
not disappointed.
To immediately start going to a negative thing.
No.
Criticizing
honestly,
me.
I missed you. No, I missed you. I missed getting on your nerves.
These are lies.
I did. You said what?
These are lies.
That's not true. You know,
You're compartmentalizing right now.
I'm working on how to compartmentalize, so people should be afraid. No, seriously though, what has irked your soul recently?
I mean, there's been good things and bad things. I don't know. Money wise, probably something irks my soul. Man, insurance. You know how much yearly, like the year annual insurance, I think pissed me off. You know, you're paying your bills, and then you're for your house and your car, and you're like the interest then hits you. You're like, guys, what? I pay insurance, the car, like as well, the house, and then you guys are like, oh yeah, there's interest on the thing at the end. I'm like, what's happening? Can't I pay? I don't know. Maybe I'm just, what irks my soul is my inability to figure out finances as well as I can. I feel like it's fine. I'm going along, but like I was like, man, you think you're adulting at a certain level. You're like, I got this nailed down, and then someone hits you with a bill, and you're like, I did not adult right. Damn it.
Right. Basically.
I did not do it right. That's the one where it sneaks up and you're like, fudge. That medical bill that went to crediting, but I never got an actual bill to my house. And then all of a sudden you're like, Temple, when did you email me about this? You're like, we did, we swear. And then always fun living in America. And speaking of economic status. So yeah, my soul is the financial institutions around me, and I guess my inability to navigate them, or their ability to fuck me. I don't know. It's tough. So living a good life, though. Other than that,
that's good though. So I had my birthday party,
right?
And I had a great time. It was nice. My friends came
21. Out. What are you? 22?
Oh, it's so sweet. Thank
there we go. See,
I'm trying to get younger. Yeah, I'm trying.
You're doing a good job.
I know it's not going to work. I don't really care. I know those young girls with those 25-year-old knees. It's okay. I've been doing pretty good though. So let me tell you something. On my birthday, I was dancing like my knees were 25. So that's all that matters. So, but this works my soul. So, and I'm tempted to do it. My friends be like, they're like, sure, you lie because you're not going to do it. This is the thing. I want to do better with social media. That's one of my goals. I do. Seriously, because I get tired of everyone criticizing me constantly about not doing social media. They were like, why will you not just do? They were like, it's not complicated. I'm vain. It is complicated for me. I'm vain. Hair needs to be done. I won't do a video. I just won't. I won't. My nails are broken now. Mad about that. Won't do a video because of that also. So listen, I need to get over the vainness. I know that. Who cares? All right, let's write that down. I'll compartmentalize it. That being said, I know I need to do better on social media. This is the thing though. I'm tempted to start doing videos on social media in reference to businesses. And the reason why is I understand after the pandemic, everyone can't offer me excellent customer service. And I don't expect you to. I don't expect you to be 100%. I expect you to be happy though that you have a job and that you're not homeless and at least that you can manage. But it's nothing worse when I ordered some outfits. The outfits look like shit. Now, this is the first Fashion Nova. First. Because I usually like outfits. Then what amazed me is no, we don't give money back. We're going to give you a credit. Why am I not giving my you got your outfits back? I shipped that thing overnight. What are you talking about? I even paid to ship it back. And no, I get a credit. A credit? I already have credit. The fuck I wanted my money back. Okay. Dealing with that when I contact customer service, it's this company called Just Answer, right? Thank you. Listen, don't even get me started because then they're disrespectful. Yeah, they're going to feel my pain right now. The company Just Answer, when you go on to Fashion Nova to try to contact someone, you can't do a customer service number. You can get a number to one of their stores and it tells you on a recording, you're not going to be able to contact us in reference to anything done online because we can't help you. Okay, so that makes you mad right there. So Fashion Nova will not offer you customer service on the phone for online at all, period. Okay, now don't get me wrong, they have nice clothes, but you got to be mindful of the fact if you get something and you don't like it, they're going to screw you. So then that's when you say to yourself, am I going to shop with Fashion Nova again or I'm going to find a new one? I'll find a new one and I'll let everyone know the newest hottest shit over Fashion Nova. So at least when you buy something, you'll be able to get your money back. So you go in there and you're dealing with customer service. Just Answer pops up and says, we can deal with the problem for customer service. So you're feeling they're tied into Fashion Nova, which sounds weird, but you're like, okay. So they're like, we're going to initiate the chat to figure out what the issue is on your refund or what the purchase order number. This is what Just Answer is doing. You got to pay $1 in order to initiate the chat. And I'm like, I'm going to pay $1 because I need to get the money. You have the items back. The email was received, but yet you're not giving my money. So now I'm going to pay $1 for the chat. All right, listen. Who cares? I want my money back. You paid $1. They go to send you over. Let's start the chat. So what seems to be the problem? So you're typing it in. You're like, I want the money back. I saw the email already. This is the amount. This is the order number. Now they're like, well, okay, we're not going to be able to help with that though. So wait a second. So you had me pay $1 and now you're telling me you're not going to be able to help. But when you click on it, it's with Fashion Nova, it's on their page. So you're thinking, okay, then this is who's going to deal with their customer service. I go look at my account. Just Answer hits your account for $45. They hit you for $1. Then they turn around and hit you for $45 on top of it. Then I say to them, because I looked at my account because I was getting ready to do something else. And I said, did you just hit the account for $1 and then $45? They were like, yep, because that's what we do. I said, no.
That's a scam.
Right, it's a scam. I said, you say $1. And then because you got the account information, you hit it for $1, then you hit it for $45. Well, yes, but that's what we do. I said, that's not what you said. It's in the writing because it's in the message you just sent. And secondly, when I do some customer service things, I'll start screenshotting things just because I don't trust shit, period. Yeah, even with people. Like, I know how slick you're going to be. So I want to make sure I can show you better than I can tell you because that's my motto. So you're sitting here and you're lying to me. Now, you said $1, but then it was $45. And they were like, no, that's not me. I said, I want my $45 back. Well, you had signed. And there's no. You said $1. I wanted my refund on Fashion Nova. Now you're telling me you can't help me. So you're portraying that you're working with Fashion Nova when actually you're not. Right. JustAnswer.com will screw you and take money out your account and then act like they're going to give you customer service from some shit that they have nothing to do with. That's what irks my soul. Then what irks my soul is you call your bank and they're like, so what happened? And you got to go over. Hold on. We're going to patch you over to someone else also. Right. We'll explain it. What seems to happen? Did they explain? Not everything, but you're upset. Okay. Bitch, I ain't got time. All right. So you know I'm upset. So now I'm about to reiterate the same thing over again. Like, it's irking. And then what cracks me up is this is the kicker. Oh my God, this is the best that done it with companies. Fashion Nova will hit you and be like, did you like that outfit? Bitch, no, I sent both of them back. Stop playing with me. Just Answer. JustAnswer.com. How was our service? Did you like us? Bitch, set yourself on fire. You stole money out of my account. I had to change my fucking account number and then dispute it. No, I don't like to get it with no Vaseline. Like, are you serious? I don't want to play these games with you. Shit irked my soul. The only thing, listen, I can take a lot. Don't fuck with my son. Don't fuck with my mom. Don't fuck with my money. Don't fuck with my dude and we're good. Once we target these things, that's when I got to make your life a little fucking uncomfortable.
Right.
And that's when I'll be like, bitch, I can compartmentalize. Like, let's play this game. Let the games begin.
Yeah, the good news is it's America, so you're wrong. We seem to just allow these companies to operate. They'll just LLC under another name, and then we'll be like, oh, yeah, we didn't catch that one. So it's like, call the Better Business Bureau 14 years from now. They'll get to it. You know, we don't want to fund any of our institutions. So, because that's a Better Business Bureau. It's like, hey, this is clearly a scam. They're making you an automated checkbox, which inside the details says that they're going to hit you for 45, but the front marketing just says $1. Like, that's a scam, and we know that's a more modern scam that they're doing now. Like,
it just makes you mad. Like, I got a phone from my nephew at the time, it was years ago, but I got the insurance through Target. They had the insurance for the cell phones, whatever like that. So when I went to cancel it, because I got a different insurance, they kept pulling out my account. And I was at Wells Fargo at the time. So then I changed the MAC card. I was like, I already tried to cancel it. The guy, when I went to cancel on the phone, he said, good luck with that. The fuck you say to me? I said, okay. I call Wells Fargo. I need get a new MAC card.
I don't need
that shit. That shit blows your mind. Listen, the shit that they'll say on customer service or like Just Answer, they were like, can't help you, but you have a spectacular day. Bitch, did you just say you have a spectacular day? Okay.
I don't shop either.
Right.
That's what
Yeah, listen,
you know what I mean?
It's never a dull moment. So the insurance company, they hit the account after I told him, and he said, good luck with it. They hit my account again at night. Now, remind you, I had the MAC card changed, though. So Wells Fargo, I had to go in, change it again. I changed it 3 times. They hit me for 4 months. Wells Fargo finally said, we can't stop them. They keep changing the names to get into this account. I had to give up the Wells Fargo account, and Wells Fargo had to tell me, we can't stop them. It's nothing you could do. I went online, and a woman been dealing with it for a year, and she had the same insurance thing that they got through Target. I said, you got to be joking. Listen, I just want to understand, how is it legal for these companies to keep doing the same dumb shit over and over and mess with your bank accounts? I don't get it. It messes with Just Answer. You're dumb as shit. I swear to goodness. Listen, dumb is an understatement. And justanswer.com, you all right. We ain't done, because I'm going to do a video and I'm going to post your shit on a video so at least people can see conversations, because I'm from the show me state. So when you email me some dumb shit or you say something stupid, yeah, I want to make sure people realize it.
Right.
And don't get me wrong, I'm not bad mouth Fashion Nova. Shit. I've been buying for them for a long time. So I was pissed when they're like, we do store credits to make it easier. No, it's not a point of making it easier when I wanted my money back. So now when I shop with them again, no, I'm not going to lie to you. But when somebody rubs you wrong, I'd rather, go somewhere else and spend my money and whatnot. But they do have nice clothes. But the fact that you can't get in touch with customer service, you won't get your money back. They're just going to chat bot you and be like, did we help you? Is it answered? Are you okay? I'm not. Like, it didn't answer. I'm not okay. Like, that's the shit I don't like. Fashion Nova has phenomenal clothes. I'll spend good money with you, but you can't offer good customer service?
Well, no, because they're cutting costs because it's
because you're so pressed on dressing Meg Thee Stallion and everybody. And listen, I'm not knocking her body yachty with her ass, but the point is, bitch, I would want my money back.
Right. Well, the 4 people at the top of the company want to make more money than they did last year, and they'll sacrifice their service. And they'll be told, this handles it, it's fine, it's great. And then they'll be like, is there anything we should know? And they're like, well, they might hit your account for $45 just because. And be like, all right, well, those are poor people, so I don't care. Or those are people that they're not as rich as me, so who gives a fuck? That's what they do. They'll sacrifice that customer service.
One company I dealt with, Shopify, I'm not gonna lie to you, they're excellent. Yeah. Let me tell you something, they're pretty good. Like, I will give them that on customer service. Like, they'll chat, then they'll call you. Like, Shopify, like, I made a complaint one time online. I swear to God, it was like 2 a.m. It was like, maybe 2:01. 2:02, somebody hit me on social media and was like, what happened with Shopify? Were you upset? Let me talk to you. I'm customer service. Message me or let's talk. I was like, are you joking? Like, when I say Shopify's
like, yo, you up, girl?
Yeah, right. They're like, you woke? Because I heard you upset. Shopify doesn't play. I'll give them that, though. I'll give them that because they jump right on it. If they, like, whoever they have overseeing social media or whatever they do, you go to post something or say something you don't like, they're on top of it. Fast.
Right. Women's fashion and jewelry, stuff like that. as someone who's made websites for people starting fashion lines and stuff, you have to use third trusted parties that are more substantial. Right. Anytime you go into a third party thing and there's lots of little shops, so look for Shopify, look for, payouts that are from Square, things that are companies that have been around for a bit. And they can still be, who knows? You never know. I mean, they can dip at any moment and be like, we don't care about our customers, but more likely you're going to be more, because there's just so many people creating cheap clothes maybe online. They're selling them because they just get them from Thailand, whatever it might be, some distributor, and then they're just using some terrible service to handle that transaction. And you'll never be able to get somewhere online. It's like,
right.
So you have to be very careful.
Yeah, but I'm tempted to do that because it's the thing. It's the thing. And I told one of my friends, they were like, well, at least you'll do something online. I'm like, mind your business. Always getting on my nerves about some shit.
It's a great place. I love that. Yeah, how irked you are right now. It's a good place. I like that we're coming.
Right, I am.
This is where you're at. I'm upset. This is fantastic.
And you're always calm about everything.
No.
And you ever realize that's how women are? Like, you men will just be like, that was okay, and we'll be irked. But let's be realistic. Like, women, come on, we know we're crazy and we're petty, because when you guys are calm and we're upset and shit, and you be like, what's wrong? And we look at you like, the fuck are you so calm for? Like, it just irks our soul because we're like, why are you so happy and so calm when I'm over here getting ready to set the world on fire?
That's why I feign. I kind of go like, right, you're so mad. I'm mad with you. Can we get ice cream? Can we do anything else other than what we're doing right now? I'm mad though. Oh, we're gonna eat that ice cream, mad.
Get mad, and that's another thing with mad. And it's the thing: we can have a bad day, or we'll be irked. We watch the TV and chilling.
Sure.
30 minutes later, we're watching TV or something, and you'll be like, "So, babe, I was wondering if what?"
Nice.
You're like, you gotta be. But listen, you guys get over it in like 5 minutes at the most, and you be like, "So, I thought maybe we go upstairs." You be like, "I thought maybe you leave me alone because I'm getting ready to write a letter to my boss. See if I get this bitch fired because she irked my soul today." You only care about yourself. So basically, this is what that is. So you don't give a shit how they treat me at work, right? So then we gotta build. We turn it into a whole major thing. Fuck up the whole night. You try to go to sleep. You be like, "You sleep yet?" We're not gonna let you sleep.
Now I got a sad masturbate laying next to you. Ugh, it's the worst. Sorry, what's up?
No way.
I'm still getting something in. Listen,
that's the worst. No, you know what's worse is when you be like, "No, we can't do anything." So then to be petty, he be like, squirt on you and be like,
"On you?"
You might want to get a rag. You're like that. You be like this blatant disrespect.
That's ridiculous. I would never do that.
You're like blatantly disrespectful.
I would.
The funny part is the look on your face. I don't know if anyone can see it. The look on your face. You know how Neil was like, because you said no, he just decided to jizz on you.
That's terrible.
The look. The words out of his mouth were like, he really did it. The look on his face was like, every man does that.
No,
right? That was the look on
true.
his face. That was the look on his face.
It's not. I went like,
the
that's
look
crazy.
on his face was, well, maybe if you hadn't have said no, that wouldn't have happened to you.
Just
What
saying,
kind of shit?
just saying, open your mouth. Listen,
you know what? Really?
Terrible.
See? Right.
Too
Thank
far.
you. Right.
Too far. No, I would excuse myself like a gentleman. Obviously.
If I didn't know anything,
and go
I
to
would
the
think
bathroom.
Danny Live's soul pop right back up in you for some reason with
I
that.
might be channeling him. It's October. Oh, Danny, come through me. Bad choice of words.
You said bad choice of words.
Bad choice of words.
All right, Danny, shoot through Neil any moment now. Shout out to Danny
plugs.
Live.
I want to get off of. I got to stop saying things. This is terrible. Danny, don't hear this. Yeah. Any you got some plugs there going on? Anything coming up?
Plugs,
you're pissed off at businesses, so you don't have
listen,
plugs.
That's right. That's an understatement. Right.
I want
Plug
to
a business?
unplug.
No.
Right. I want to unplug. Just answer. It's a terrible name for a
One business
company.
I would plug though. No, definitely that my friend owns. Apex in Bala Kenwood. Listen, seriously, because went there the other night. Their service, I walk in the door, I just feel special. I'm like, they're the best that's done it. Seriously, Apex in Bala Kenwood is Apex Pizza. They're phenomenal. Their cheesesteaks and their pizza, everything's good though. But the service they give is phenomenal. Like, I appreciate the way they interact with people and they give back to the community. So, like, yeah, I definitely like that restaurant because I really haven't had a complaint food wise or whatever. And yeah, I dealt with Apex's Pizza because Chris's Pizza is not that far, and that's on Ford Road, and they're dumb as shit. Because when the pandemic was over, they still wouldn't let you in the restaurant. Mm-hmm. I'm talking about like 6 months to a year. Like you go to the door, and not only would they not open the door, but they'd be like, "You have to call.
Right?
You can't take you have to call, so I can take." So then. I'm standing outside. I call, and then the bitch looked at me and said, "Pick up a delivery." Bitch, you see me standing at the window calling you right now. Why you play so much?
Perfect.
Yup.
That is so perfect.
Mm-hmm.
I want to end on that. That's so great.
So I learned with Chris's Pizza, I was like, the hell with that shit. I'll pass. Yeah, all
her
right.
dead eyes looking into you. Well,
like,
ma'am, I don't know who might be on the other end.
Bitch,
Like,
you see me standing at the window. You just said call the phone.
The words that are coming through the phone are matching my lips. I can look. I see you.
You bitch, I see you.
You got a name tag on, Tasha. Listen, why are you doing this right now? Pick up her delivery.
You be like,
delivery.
You be like this.
You say delivery?
Right, delivery.
You wait for her to walk outside. Give me this pizza.
You know why it's going to be a delivery? Because when you walk out that door, I'm going to deliver an ass whooping because you want to play my emotions.
Put down the pizza so I can fight you.
Right. You be like, bitch. You be like, I'll have one of my friends be like, hold my pizza because I refuse to fuck up my food just to whoop your behind. That's what I don't do.
Beautiful place to have.
But yeah, it's moments like that are beautiful. No, I did show not that long ago. So and that's another thing. I didn't. My friends are like, why won't you post stuff about shows? I would listen. I swear to God, I am going to do that. I'm going to make a valid effort when I have a show. I'm going to post. Not only am I going to make a point to try to post about the show, but I'm going to post afterwards because I still don't. I'm going to do better. I really am. I'm going to do. This is my
I haven't seen you in 3 months.
No. Listen, it's funny because the sad part is, thank God Danny Live isn't here because he'd be the first one to be like, Sherry will go missing. Like, they'll be like, She acts like she got kidnapped and just no one finds her. Like, seriously, I am going to do better.
Your subscribers on YouTube are mad at you, probably.
I know.
Everyone subscribed. And then they
I'm
were
going,
like,
listen, I'm going to do better. I am. I'm
Okay.
going to do better. I'm going to do better. I'm going to be on social media. Listen, I'm going to get on social media. I'm going to be doing a podcast. I'm going to be doing so much that people are going to be like, I'm just tired of seeing her.
well, it's the show me state.
Yeah, all right. So, you know,
Throw that right back at you. This is fun.
all righty. Just show me state. I'll remember that. Jizz Master Flex. Anyway.
Follow, like, and subscribe all over the place at Comedian Sherry and at, what do you share? At Sherry Franklin. On
See,
Facebook.
he didn't already forgot me already. So on Instagram at Comedian Sherry. So listen, oh my God, I don't get no credit. At Comedian Sherry on Instagram. Facebook, Sherry Franklin. Of course, follow the podcast. We are back up and swinging, so people will stop giving me a hard time. Listen, you guys keep playing with my emotions. I'm gonna be one of these podcasts.
So tough for you to be so in demand.
Yeah, whatever. I'm not in demand. Stop it. I am nobody. The point is, and that definitely is me. I'm nobody. Tune into Crimes to Remember. Yes. Subscribe, like, please comment, and give us your input. And not only that, tell us any businesses. This is my thing. Let me know of some businesses, whether they're Black-owned businesses or not. Let me know of businesses that you recommend. And trust me, if you message me, whether you DM me or you comment on my podcast, I will definitely make a point to come out and spend money with your business, because it's not about anything, but I definitely will give my real feedback. So don't invite me out on some bullshit. That's all I'm saying. You get your feelings hurt. But definitely, I'll come out. And shout out to Rams Tavern in Clifton Heights and Murad running the bar, doing an excellent job getting ready for a party coming up November 7th.
This has been Crimes to Remember with Comedian Sherry. Subscribe on YouTube at Crimes to Remember, rate and review us on your favorite audio platform, and follow us on Instagram at Comedian Sherry.
How you doing? This is Neil Wood from the Cult of Us podcast, speaking on behalf of Drop 10 Media Network, the network you're currently listening to. Make sure to check out all the other podcasts on the network. You can go to drop10.com to check them all out. Make sure to like, subscribe on everything that you see Drop 10 on. We appreciate it. Go to drop10.com now.
This has been a Drop Tent Media production.